Hi everyone, and it's been forever. Sorry, my curling iron is not on yet, so don't worry about that. I just wanted to take a moment while I was taking like a few moments to get ready to curl my hair because it has been forever since I've uploaded or done pretty much anything on both YouTube, Instagram, all of the above. And basically, I just wanted to kind of explain why. Before I get into it, I am Krista's Beauty. I'm a hairstylist here in Richmond, Virginia. I also do spooky, scary, fun little videos and whatnot with Halloween and stuff like that, movie reviews, fun little talks, and things of that sort. So, I have been, like I said, I pretty much have ghosted since after Halloween, really, and I kind of barely made it through Halloween, honestly, this year. It's just one of these, and I feel like I did this already in the spring of like I disappeared for a while, but 2021 was just bad for me all around, like just not my year in any way. And that was more on a personal level, just like me going through my own very, very personal things that are kind of working themselves out now, but now I've got a bunch of other stuff going on. So that happened pretty much all last year into the fall. Even there was more stuff that was going on personally, and then things finally seem to be going somewhat better, somewhat falling more so into place. And now, basically, we're in a situation right now, well, my family and I, that, so my mom has been in and out of the hospital since, sorry, I'm figuring out what spray I want to use, or if I can find the spray I want. My mom has been in and out of the hospital. She's been out of the house since the beginning of December. She's been back and forth between a hospital and rehabilitation. So basically, and I'm not posting any of this because it's not even like a matter of, I've had tons of people already tell me like advice on things and what I should do, and all that's great. At the same point, I'm also not in a point in my family, not that I even want to be, that I am in charge of any of this or like any medical real decisions. Like, I'll bring up things that I think could be valid, but other than that, I'm a lot younger than everyone in my family, so it's one of these, I kind of just have to roll with whatever they decide to do, which is fine because, again, it's not really a responsibility that I want, nor do I think it's one that I should even have. But just a disclaimer, like, I tell you a brief scenario of the situation, I really right now, like, the last thing I want, and this is one of the reasons I've been very quiet about it, is I do not need, the Peanuts Gallery telling me what I should and shouldn't do, because at the end of the day, it's not even my decision. None of it really is. I'm just kind of here for the ride, and it really kind of sucks. That's a whole nother thing in and of itself. But basically, so my mom's been in and out of the hospital and rehabilitation. Like, she's one or the other. She, at the beginning of December, had a fracture in one of her discs in her back. And it was excruciatingly painful, and there was this whole big thing about that. Even getting her into a hospital was a whole big ordeal. Eventually, they finally saw her and got her set up with a surgery or a procedure to kind of fill in where that disc had fractured in her back. So luckily, that was all well and taken care of. She also had COVID at that time, mild. She only had a cough at most, so it wasn't like that serious. But of course, she was already in the hospital. She had COVID, so that was like a whole thing. So there was a good bit that like none of us could see her, not even my dad. And then after that surgery and after, the hospital, whatever, closer to Christmas time, she went to her first round of rehabilitation. She was in a rehab center. I will not name any names, but she was in a facility And while there, we didn't know at the time, I don't know if she did or not, but basically she has like a very compromised liver. She has cirrhosis of the liver, which is lifelong. And while she was in rehabilitation, started going into liver failure. And they did not do anything about it. I mean, it was very obvious that was what was happening. And they were very much like, well, we have to run tests, or we have to get her cleared, to go back into the hospital, to which my sister went in and was like, no, I'm taking my mom to the hospital right now. Like, this is very clear. This is what is happening. And so she went in, and the second technically visit to the hospital, first to this particular hospital, because the procedure was done in another. They were able to stabilize her. They were able to get rid of whatever the infection was. Great. They discharged her after I guess a week or so. And this was New Year's, headed into beginning of January. They were able to discharge her. Great. She went back to the same rehabilitation. Well, of course, one, because they didn't really know what the source of the infection was, and two, because of, the poor lack of care at this one facility, she went back into liver failure again. And she went back to the hospital, but they were able to determine, oh, you do have infection. We believe it is from the liver. Basically, I mean, it's still not good. The situation's still really bad, but basically it's one of these things, too, where it's it's her liver. And to be honest right now, she's pretty much most likely going to have a transplant in order to survive at this point. My family and I differ about how we see things. I don't really know how I feel about it, to be honest, because it's just one of those things of, she is 68. She could potentially maybe get approved, but also, all right, another big factor in all of this is that the hospital that she has been at, or been going to, they don't have a liver specialist necessarily there. So they're just saying what they think, is the problem, and what they think the best course of action could potentially be. But again, they're not the specialist on this, so they don't really know if that's her only option. So, but it's one of these things right now of, this is where I'm at as of, what's today? February 10th, 2022. Whenever I get this video uploaded, who knows with the way life has been. But basically, it's one of these, she is too, healthy, technically. Her numbers are stabilized. They've gotten rid of the infection the second time at this hospital. So her numbers are good. So she's not, sick enough to be, she would have to go to a different hospital in the city who has, a liver team and a liver specialist, particularly. But the thing is, she's not sick enough to need to go there. But also because of everything with her back and all, she hasn't been mobile since, the beginning of December, with everything going on with her back. So she's not really, well enough, though, necessarily to, book an appointment to see a liver specialist and just, walk on in. And it's one of these, we've pretty much asked all the options, and this is, there's no way, she has to go to rehab in order to get her mobility back and all of that. So it's kind of one of these, we're stuck in, a weird sticky position and all of that. And still not really even sure what the outcome of all of this is going to be, what's really happening, all of that. So meanwhile, that's going on in the background of my life. And that is why I've been very distant, very just doing my own thing, not even intentionally. It's just, there's a lot going on in the background right now, and it is what it is. And I feel I'm a very honest person. So I feel in a way, almost guilty for not, being online as much as I have. A lot of my job is online. A lot of bringing in clients, staying busy, a lot of that is, and just maintaining a relationship is online. And unfortunately, because of everything going on in my life right now, I've definitely had to kind of put a hold on that part of my life. And I hate it. Like, I hate not being able to really focus in on it. And it just also, I'm just very much, like I said, an honest person. And I really just don't like feeling like I'm keeping anything from, you know, my friends and followers and clients that like really care about me. So it's just really hard of like, well, what is too much to kind of dump onto people and what isn't, because in beauty school, and I do get this to a degree, like you are definitely told do not share too much about your personal life that's very negative. And I get that. And that is something that I think is almost easier said than done, just because like I get it. Like, you shouldn't, when someone is in my chair in particularly, I try and first and foremost always make it about them, because they're paying me for a luxury experience and service and to feel pampered and whatnot. So I'm definitely not going to go in about any of my personal life, especially this negative aspect of it right now, especially to like a brand new client who's gonna, you know, we don't know each other. Like, it's just, there's not that, you know, deep connection to really go on from there. But it is hard when you are having conversations with people and, you know, you get into like, oh, how are your holidays and this and that. And then, you know, a client is being nice and they do care, asking about your holidays and all, and you're just kind of like do I drop all of this about what's been going on, or do I not, and then feel like I'm just not being honest with them about like what really is going on? And I think now, though, we are luckily in a day and age and a society, especially with everything going on in the world, that mental health is really, really important, where once it was not before. So I do feel, and with my clients that I am very close with, like I have opened up and shared the crazy stuff that's happening right now. And again, and it's one of those too, where sometimes you do have to, like, you know, when something, you're going in it, like you do, and you know, for people that care and they genuinely are like, well, what's going on with everything? Like, you know, you just kind of say it like it is. And it's just one of those things of, unfortunately, this is my life right now. And it's not even, I don't know, there's so many things with it. I think there's so much guilt in family in general, or at least in my personal experience. I definitely come from a family where there's just a lot of guilt at times. And I think in general, we as a whole, we still do have a lot of guilt in our culture and our society and our structures and things like that. And it's just really hard to kind of navigate through of like, well, what's professional and what isn't. And I want to be personal with people, but what's like too much and all of that. So I basically just wanted to kind of create this video and just say, I'm fine. Like, I'm doing the best I can given the circumstances. Another part of this too, and maybe this is too personal, and I'm sure my family would probably not be too thrilled even that I'm making this video, but at the end of the day, like, it just kind of, it is what it is. And there's just a lot of extra stuff in all of this as well, which I love my family dearly, but anyone who's from a large family knows that, like, when you have a lot of people that are trying to agree on things, like, that never happens, and it can get very dramatic very quickly, just because you have so many strong, and that's one, I've come from a family of very, very strong, opinionated people, which is great, but then it adds even a larger layer of stress to everything that doesn't always necessarily need to be there. Like, there's a lot of extra, like, fighting and this and that and all of that, and I get it, and it's just, you know, emotions are really hard right now, and I'm trying to go at it with grace right now, but it's one of these, like, I feel like I'm just walking a tightrope and trying to balance myself while still, like, going through other things in my personal life, like my, you know, relationship, my friendships, my work and clients, and taking care of my cat. Like, it's just, And this isn't like my life is worse than anyone's by any means. No, like this is all very normal, just real things that real people go through. And I see a lot more of people online like sharing, what's going on behind the scenes and all of that. And that's kind of what inspired all of this. It's just like, basically, like, I know I've been away for a while. I know I have not been as active or as present as I would like to have been, but it is what it is, and I'm honestly just doing the best that I can. I will be taking a small little vacation for myself end of February. I always do, because of my birthday. That'll die down, hopefully. If not, I just got a tight curl tonight. So I'm hoping, but I'm not going to make any promises, that I will take y'all along for the ride on YouTube and do like a little, vacation vlog or something like that. But it's mainly just going to be very low key. We're going to go to a cabin because, again, with everything going on with my mom, we don't really want to, go out of state or anything like that, which, again, it is what it is. Like, we were planning on some things, but, life changes, plans change, things change, it's fine. Still sucks, but, So, anyway, I'm gonna let my curls die down. They're not gonna be as tight as this, but I also don't want to make this video super, super long, so let me just get my texture spray. But anyway, that is the long and short of everything that I've been going through. I was going to try and get this out earlier than what it's coming out as, but apparently you have to have like a strong YouTube presence or following or whatever to get a live video out, which I didn't know that, and I think it's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. I don't make the rules here. I just try and play by them. So that was another reason that I know I posted on my Instagram that I was going to do like a YouTube live and update everyone, but I don't have the following for that apparently. So I just figured I'd record and upload like usual that I do. So I really hope that I didn't bum you all out too much here on my little soapbox. And if you are, I probably still am going to keep like private life private and hair life working all. I have 2 different Instagram accounts for those who are interested in more of like my family life updates and what all happens with my mom, because I do have a lot of clients and just friends in general on both platforms that have reached out asking what's going on, how's my mom doing, and all of this. And I will definitely keep you updated as I learn things too, and understand things. But if you are more interested in kind of keeping up with, now that I've just dumped all of this on you, if you're interested in keeping up with what all happens from here, good or bad, I will leave my regular Instagram, Red Lips Chris. That's my personal account, and I'll have more of my personal information and all that going on there. And I'll try and keep my hair account somewhat active. I do want to keep things on there, but it's just been tough. It really has. And I appreciate all of you still, any of you that are out there still supporting and continuing to lift me up through this really, really just difficult, scary, unsure time that I think we're all living in right now, some more than others. I really appreciate those who do take the time to check in, who do care, who do just, see me and keep up with my online or lack thereof presence out there. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to my blabbing dump of emotions. I will keep everyone posted as much as I can on what happens, and I will see you all on my next video. Thank you so much.